Hello hackers, welcome to WCH Industries. In this course, we're going to learn process and network monitoring on Linux. Now, what's a process? A process is a program running in memory. A network is all the traffic that runs in and out of your box. Now, with that said, we need to start with the commands that we need. The first command we're going to learn is the ps command. When you type ps, it tells you what type of processes are running on your system, the current processes that are running on your system. Now the ps command has a lot of switches. So when we type ps -aux, it's going to list every single thing in a full hierarchical structure. Now the command that is running on the system, the time, and so on. Now the process ID, the PID number, is simply the process ID given to a specific number. The user represents what type of user is on the system. Is the user a root user or a normal user? So currently on my system, I only have H4CK3R as my user and the root as a user. Now the next one we're going to learn is the top command. Now, unlike the ps command, the top command is an interactive way of viewing the processes running on your system. It gives you a live view of the processes that are currently running on your system. Now you can see we ran top, so we saw top right inside the menu right here. Now when we continue, we have a better version of the top, which is htop. When I type htop, I can view in an interactive way of how I can interact with the stuff, with the top command, by a more colorful and interactive way. Now the next command we are going to learn, the next command is going to be the trace command. Now with everything said about processes and network monitoring, we are going to start something by learning the trace command. I'm going to run a tool called ping, and I'm going to ping an IP address. Now we have run ping literally, so that means ping is now running in the background. So when I type top right here, I should see ping part of the processes that are running on my system. Now let's look carefully to find the ping command. Now we can see that Q terminal has been opened here. Now the Q terminal, I think, represents the terminal application that we have opened here. We have two terminal applications open on our computer. Now what we are going to do is that we're going to open, control the last one. One of these is going to be the application. So when you want to copy the process ID, you want to type ps. That gives the better lookout. Or you can simply type the top command. Then you cancel it. So after doing this, we have the view of the processes that are running on the system. Now we could have killed this process, but it seems it is not clear for you guys. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to open a better application like Firefox. So I'm going to come here and click on Firefox window right here. Now with this Firefox window open, we should know that Firefox is now running on the background. So when I type top, we could see that Firefox is right here. Now all we have to do now is to cancel or kill the Firefox process. That will be able to stop Firefox from running on our system currently. So what we're going to do is that we're going to copy the Firefox PID number that is right here. We copy the PID number, process ID number. Then we come to our terminal, we clear the screen, then we type kill and put in the process ID number and click enter. So after clicking enter, you can see the Firefox window has disappeared from my system. Now let's try and open it again. And let's type the same process ID number. No such process. That means the PID was given to the process that was currently right now. So when we type top again, you can see Firefox will be given a new process ID. So with the understanding of this, let's continue. The next thing we are going to learn is the trace command. The strace command is simply going to trace the process that is running on the computer, whatever action that process makes. It's like a vigilante watching its target. So now the Firefox window is open already. So what we have to do now is we are going to try and trace the Firefox process. Whatever Firefox does, we will know it's in the background. So after typing this command, we are supposed to look for Firefox, and we can find Firefox right here. Now we're going to copy the process ID for Firefox, which is 12315. We copy it. Now we're going to trace the Firefox process. Whatever action the Firefox window does, we are going to see it. So we're going to type strace strace. Then we're going to specify the PID number of Firefox with the dash P switch and click enter on this. Now you can see all this bunch of gibberish stuff. Now if you have a problem with this, you can always feed this information to AI to analyze. Always remember that. Now it's simply going to trace any system call that the Firefox window is doing, everything that the Firefox window is doing. So for instance, when we come to the last bit of this, you can see Firefox is performing an action in the background, but we never knew. So when we refresh this window right here, you can see it gives out a lot of traffic right here. When I open a new tab, it's going to see it gives out a lot of traffic right here. So you can experiment with this, but be careful, don't go and blow up your system. Now, after the understanding of this, we can now go into the next process. So now, what we are going to learn is that we are going to try and know what type of file is being opened on our system. Always remember, on Linux, everything is treated as a file. So when we type something like netcat, for instance, we want to open a listener. We type netcat-L4444, and we are listening for something. And we come back to our processes and we type top. We're going to use the lsof command. But this time, when we type top, we all know that when we type top, you're going to be given a process ID. But this time, we're going to use the lsof command, which is going to show us list open files. Now, on the listing of open files, it's not the ls that we know, but this ls is for processes. So when we type lsof, then we wait. We are going to specify the tag I input, which is going to show us what type of files has been opened on the system. So you can see that it says listen right here. That means the user here is using something to listen for a connection. Now you can see the netcat right here, the netcat window right here. This is the command that we are running. And the user running that command is the h4ck3r user. Then we are waiting on, we are using the TCP protocol and we are listening for a connection. So this is how, now after understanding processes, we need to understand networks. So basically, what I want you guys to understand is that in a network, there is something that's being transmitted from one computer to another. Now these computers, they transmit some form of data packets. Now these data packets have layers. So now, let's perform an action on our network. I'm going to send a data packet from my computer to my computer, literally using the loopback address. That is the specified address for testing. So when I type ping, I'm sending packets to this address. So now how do I know whether it's actually running on my system? We are going to use the tcpdump command. Now the tcpdump command is how you go: sudo tcpdump, enter, then you input your password. So when I type this is simply going to give me a verbose a tcp dump of whatever is running on my system. So this is how it works. Now we'll not get deep into that. What I want you guys to understand is the ifconfig command, which is very, very important. Now ifconfig is not on the Linux machine, it's on Windows. So we have the ifconfig command. When you type ifconfig, you are giving information about your adapters that are on your machine. That is the adapters that you have on your machine. And these are virtual machines right I'm using. So this etho right here represents Ethernet connection, not internet, Ethernet. Literally, it's going to be the wired connection I have from my WSL to my Windows machine. It is a virtual network. Then the LO represents the loopback address. That is a loopback traffic. It's not actually a real IP address. It's just a loopback traffic. Now with that understood, there are some basic things we need to understand. When you type ifconfig, you can get a lot of information by using some switches. Now what we are going to do is that we need to get the help of ifconfig. Ifconfig, to get the help of ifconfig, type ifconfig -- help. Now we type this, we can get all the help for ifconfig. We have the switches like ifconfig -a, there's a normal output. And we have ifconfig -V, what is going to give us the tools and stuff related to ifconfig. Now, I think this is the basics of what we need to know about network monitoring and process monitoring. Thanks for watching the video. Please like, share, and subscribe.